Bowhunt or Die is being brought to you by Matthews, Lost Camo, New Archery Products, Tinks, Lone Wolf Portable Tree Stands, Stealth Cam, Carbon Express, Hunter Safety System, Heartland Wildlife Institute, Moose Utility Division, Pine Ridge Archery, and the Can Cooker.
Welcome to the final episode of Season 3, Bowhunt or Die. Justin, I can't believe 24 episodes later, here we are.
Yeah, finally down to the end here. I have to admit, I'm kind of somewhat glad that the season's over. Give me a little bit of a break here anyways. But, guys, the main hunt that we're going to be focusing on this week is Todd's hunt during the late season. It took place right after Christmas. It was actually the third buck that he shot this year. I mean, obviously, Todd, for you, the end of a great season.
Best ever.
And, the one thing that I think people are going to be able to take away from this, just like Frankie's hunt last week, is the importance that food plots play when it comes to, being successful in the late season.
Yeah, there's no question about it, Justin. I mean, as wildlife managers, as hunters, we're always trying to do different things to make our properties better. And one cool thing about food plots is if you take the time, you don't have to have huge equipment. I mean, the seed has come a long way with the different plots you can plant. I mean, Heartland Wildlife Institute now actually has different products that you can plant, even if you basically have no sun. It's some neat stuff.
Well, that's something that I'm looking at planting this year is actually that particular product, in some of the wooded areas. But, like you said, you don't need the big equipment.
Right.
Moose Utility Division makes a lot of great equipment that you can use for planting food plots, from fertilizer spreaders to, sprayers for spraying your food plots and all different types of things. So, I guess we could talk all day about it, but the most important thing is to show you the hunt. So let's jump right in and let's take a look.
All right, guys, we're pretty much set up and ready to go. So honestly, we don't know what we're doing right now. We got 2 trees in mind. Even worse, we got 2 spots in mind. I don't have the trees picked out yet. We got saws, pole saws, 2 stands, all our video gear. It's 1:15. We got to get in there, get set up. We're gonna bump deer. We know that. So we already saw deer up on their feet, literally driving here. So we're gonna get in, get ready, pick a spot, cross our fingers. Sometime with deer hunting, you need a little bit of luck. Let's see what happens. We're gonna get set up right now. We may be a stick or 2 short, so we may have to cheat it and take our bottom stick off and bring it up high. We got a long ways to go up there. It's deer killing time, guys. Bowhunt or die. Let's get it done.
Well, Tom and I are back at it. What's good about today is we've got our stand hung. If you can remember, we went on a hunt about, maybe 10 days ago, and it just wasn't cold enough. It just didn't have these deer in a feeding frenzy mode. We finally got this storm front in. We've got cold temperatures now that we've had for the last 5 or 6 days. My final Christmas present that I wanted is a big buck underneath the tree. So I definitely want to practice quality deer management. I have not shot a doe off this particular piece of property this year, and I want to do that for sure. So the deer like to take advantage of the warmest time of the day, which of course is between 11 and 2 o'clock. I think they're able to conserve a little bit of energy, a little bit of survival tactics coming into play. So we're hoping that that's what's on their mind, and we're going to be set up, we're going to be ready to go, and we're going to be wearing as much gear as we can. We're going to look like a couple of abominable snowmen in there with how much gear we're going to have on. But let's do it. Got the snow camo ready. I'm ready to shoot a buck.
All right, folks. We've been hiking for a while now, and it is perfect. I mean, the snow isn't psycho crunchy. Full snow camo. Who doesn't get excited about snow camo? We're gonna sneak up here. We have a feeling there's gonna be some deer bedded down by the food plot or already in the food plot eating. If there are deer feeding, I'm gonna try to take a doe from the ground. Stalk up on one. This is kind of fun. They're bedding all over here. Let's go. There he was. Oh man, we blew it. We blew it, guys. We just blew it. We blew it. We blew it. He was right there. Big buck. Big buck. Nothing we can do. Unfortunately today, we spooked out the big buck. One of the two big bucks we've been chasing. All we can hope is he comes back. Let's see what happens. Before we continue on with this hunt, Justin, I got to tell you, after Tommy and I bumped that big buck out of there that was bedded below the stand, honestly, I thought it was over.
Well, yeah, I mean, we've all been there walking in, you bump a big one, and you're like, you know, what are the chances that another buck is going to be around and it's going to come into bow range that night? But by that point, you're already out there.
Yep.
You know the deer are hitting the food plots. I mean, what else are you going to do? You may as well climb up in the tree and hope something comes by.
The saving grace in this is, you know, Justin, I was getting trail camera photos of a couple of big bucks. So basically, Tommy and I hung out there, and sure enough, take a look what starts coming up the hill. This has been the best bow hunting year of my life. I mean, 2012, I don't know what to say. I mean, he's a nice 150-inch buck, 145, 150, nice deer. I mean, Tom and I have been watching this deer come in from the bottom all the way up to the top. Oh, I just, we got a doe over here, a doe down here, guys. Late season bow hunting. This drought has killed us this year, but we got these Heartland Wildlife Institute turnips in at the right time, and I mean, it's been incredible. The moment that cold weather turned on, bam, I mean, just like that. Oh man, I am so excited. Let's get down there and take a look at it. Okay, we just got out of the stand. What a great hunt, guys. I mean, it is bone-chilling cold. We got a buck down in the field. Sure enough, after I shot that buck, two other deer, or two nice other smaller bucks, were coming to the turnips. I mean, late season, plant the turnips, wear as much clothes as you can wear, get the heated bow grips out, do whatever you got to do to stay warm up in a tree, and I'll tell you what, it can pan off. This is my third buck of the year, best bow hunting year of my life. I don't know if I'll ever have a year like this again. Come on and enjoy the moment with me. This is a great deer. Guys, it's December 26, 2012, third buck of the season. I mean, I can't complain. I mean, I had a goal this year to hunt as hard as I could, and I tell you what, it paid off. I mean, I've got three of the nicest bucks in my life. Tom was kind enough to take time out of this week to come out and film me hunt. We knew once the weather was going to turn cold that these bucks were going to be in here hitting these turnips. This is a Wildlife Institute, Heartland Wildlife Institute plot. These are all turnips in here. I mean, these bucks were in here and they were feeding. We saw at least 3 or 4 different bucks in here. This is one of the bucks that was on my hit list. He's a good deer, heavy mass, comes way out and wide. He's just a nice deer. When you look at these G2s, long G2s, he's got kickers. I mean, just a beautiful buck. He carries his mass all the way out, which is awesome. Tom and I snuck into the stand and we busted a bigger buck out. Actually, it was bedded right below the stand. I mean, we couldn't believe it. And he took off running. We both looked at each other like, man, is the hunt gonna be over? What do you want to do? We decided to stick it out because we figured with it being as cold as it is today, that something was gonna happen. And sure enough, we were there for about an hour and this buck comes up from down below, just working along. I mean, we probably filmed this buck for an hour. We kept looking at each other, is this ever gonna happen? And I mean, he finally cleared into my shooting lane, 30-yard shot, put him right down. I'm shooting the new archery products, Kill Zone. It's a great broadhead. I shot 3 of the biggest bucks in my life with that broadhead this year. I'm gonna tell you what, I don't know what new product they're coming out with next year, but it's gonna be tough to pull me off that Kill Zone because that thing absolutely did its job. As far as my bow, Matthews Creed, brand new for 2013, shot 2 awesome deer with it. This is gonna be a tough bow to ever give up, but what an absolute great year. I can't stress the importance of take the time, put in food plots, do whatever you can for habitat and the deer in your area. Whether you end up shooting a buck over that plot or not, I'll tell you what, the deer will appreciate it and one day it will pay off like it paid off for me with this buck here. Bingo. It's official. My buck is tagged. Oh, what a great animal. What a great deer.
You know, Todd, the first thing that you notice when you watch that hunt is, you know, how much that deer drops when you shoot him. I mean, when I first watched it and you first sent me the footage, I was like, good grief, Todd, you know, what happened there? You didn't make the best shot. Hey, we've all been there. I've done it myself this year. You know, but the amazing thing is when you play it back in slow motion, you see that, I mean, your arrow was headed right where it belonged. That deer just dropped and, you know, hit him in the spine. It happens.
Well, and the amazing part too, Justin, is, I mean, that deer was as calm as can be. I mean, seriously, we watched that deer for over 45 minutes, take his time, eat the turnips all the way up the hill. And I mean, he wasn't edgy at all. The wind was perfectly in our favor, but yet, those deer just have that uncanny ability to be super, super quick. There's nothing you can do about it.
Yeah, I mean, it's amazing, though, when you look at the difference between last week's hunt with Frank in his food plot. He shot that deer. It didn't move a muscle.
No.
And then you've got your deer who looked just as calm as the one he shot. He ducks and, you know, end up with a spine shot, which just goes to show you that you never know how these deer are going to react. Yeah. And that's why Todd and I always, you know, tell everybody, I mean, it's great that these bows and these arrows and everything is so accurate that you can accurately shoot 50, 60, and 70 yards, but there's so much that happens even in 0 to 30 yards.
Yes.
Now you just compound that as you get farther out, and, you know, you and I know, are advocates, you know, 30, 40 yards, you know, that's about as far as we want to shoot.
As far as I'm shooting.
I know a lot of guys that are shooting more, but, you know, for me personally, I'm sticking with that. And, you know, the other thing, you know, that we talked about earlier is food plots. I mean, Todd, I've watched you the last, I don't know, it's 4 or 5 years now since you got your property putting in food plots and seen some of the awesome hunts that you've had during the late season. And I have to admit, it's kind of inspired me to finally get out this spring and put some food plots in. Because I'm telling you what, guys, if you're like me and you hunt late season post-rut and you don't have good food sources, whether they be natural or food plots, forget about it. I mean, it just makes, you know, killing a good buck darn near impossible. So.
Yeah, well, I mean, the reality is the moment the weather starts to get really cold, the deer begin to herd up. And the reality is if you don't have, you can have a great hunting spot. You can have a spot where you've killed deer year after year, but that may be a good rutting spot. That may be a good pre-rut spot. That may be a good early season spot. Every spot changes throughout the season in the course of a whitetail's life. And there's no question about it. Deer have an ability, in my opinion, to know where the general herd is, and when they start herding up, you could sit forever and maybe never see a deer.
Oh yeah, I hunted quite a bit during the late season, and I think I had an opportunity to shoot a couple does. I don't even think I saw a buck anywhere during my late season hunting. I mean, it was pretty tough. So, you know, speaking of food plots, we're going to actually, for our next hunt, we're going to stick right on Todd's property. He brings Bryan Mazur and actually his son Craig out for an afternoon hunt, and let's see what happens.
guys, we were about to walk out. We got dressed and took some showers. We did a little bit of scouting earlier. Saw some deer on their feet, so we're gonna go head out to the blind and hopefully get a doe on the ground. So we'll see what happens. Stay tuned.
Well, guys, we did about as best as we could. The wind is hard out of the south-southwest, which is absolutely perfect for the stand because we're able to sneak in without bumping a lot of deer. We did bump that one. I don't know if you saw it or not, but it jumped up, was laying right over that crest, which is very typical of deer during this time of the year. They get out of the wind by laying on the backside of those hills. So we're hunting over a Wildlife Institute turnip plot. You can see by the tracks out there, they've been in here for sure. Definitely in here. We're going to get set up right now, get the heater on. We're all wearing as much black as we can. So, Craig, good job sneaking in here. We did about as best as we could, so let's do it. Let's get warmed up. Quality deer management. Let's put a doe down, Bryan. Come on.
Okay, guys, we finally just got completely set up. We busted some turkeys walking in. There's about like 9 of them down there now, and then there's 5 deer across the field, so hopefully they'll all work their way. We got a turkey tag too, so hopefully I'll be able to get a turkey on the ground also. We'll see what happens. Okay guys, we're gonna look at the footage just to make sure I made a good shot on her. I'm about 90% sure I smoked her. Hopefully it's a good doe that we took down, so see what happens.
What'd you think of that, Craig?
Awesome.
There's blood right here though. There's blood on her. Okay guys, we got down from the blind. Craig found the arrow. There was some blood on it. Wasn't a lot, you can't really see it, but we found the blood trail, followed her all the way down here. We saw her go down here, but we must have not seen her all the way. She came down here and expired. It's a pretty great doe. We came here for doe management, and that's exactly what happened, so pretty happy. Thank you so much, Todd, for letting me come out here and take down a doe. It means a lot, thanks.
What a great way for Bryan to end his bow hunting season. You know, I wanted to get Craig out on a hunt. I couldn't think of a better way to do it than to team him up with Bryan and be able to have Craig watch Bryan, another young bow hunter, be out there hunting, doing what he loves to do. It was great to see those two working together, and things could not have worked out more perfectly. It was so fun to see Bryan shoot that doe. I got to tell you, my heart was
pumping, and to be able to get out of that stand and watch Craig help with the blood trail is something that I quite frankly enjoyed more than probably shooting all my bucks this year, because I just have a feeling one day that little guy is going to be one heck of a bow hunter. With that being said, let's take a look at Dean as he does a little bit more quality deer management.
Okay, it is getting down to the wire. It's the last couple days of the Wisconsin late bow season here, and I'm sitting in my stand that I had hung up about a week and a half ago, and I sat it last week. I had a little 8-point come by about 10 yards and seen a couple small does, and then one adult doe that was limping. I didn't get her on video, but she was off to the east of me here. We're sitting in here tonight. I got 2 doe tags and a buck tag left, so getting down to the wire. If a big doe gives me an opportunity, I'm going to take it, and obviously if a nice buck comes by, I can only hope that I get a chance at him. So we're getting down there, and all we can do is put our time in and see what happens. So the trails are just littered in here. It's kind of a staging area, lots of brush, and you can see they've been browsing in here. And then about 150 yards to the south of me, there's a alfalfa field that they've been digging in, but the snow was deep, so they've had a rough time. But lots of deer tracks in here. With any luck, we're going to see something tonight and put one on the ground. So stick with me and see what we can do. Well, that worked out pretty good. Nice big doe. Maybe about 7 yards. I seen her go about 70, 80 yards, and then I lost her, but it sounded like I thought she went down up there. So getting down to the wire. One in the freezer. Bow hunt or die. Okay, I'm standing right where I shot the doe here, and the blood, that kill zone just tore her open. The blood is like a stream all the way up here. I can see the blood probably 30, 40 yards up in the snow here. Well, I could see the arrow was sticking out of her when she ran. I probably only went about 10 yards there, and here's the arrow was sticking out both sides. She snapped it off, but I'll pick it up here and continue on. Well, I'm surprised this old girl went this far. She probably went 80, 90 yards. She's laying right up here in front of me. She is. Nice big adult doe. Second to last night of late season for Wisconsin here, so I'm happy. Got some meat for the freezer and helped out the landowner again, taking some of these does out of here that are eating his crops. So I'm happy, he's happy, and we got 1 day left, so tomorrow night maybe we can put a buck on the ground. Bow hunt or die.
Well, that was another great self-filmed deer hunt from Dean Krueger. You know, Dean had a great season. Started off slaying a bunch of turkeys up in Wisconsin. Then, as you guys saw earlier this year, he shot a great buck in Minnesota. Now he finishes it off with another self-filmed doe hunt. What an amazing season. Congratulations to Dean. Hopefully he can keep it up next year. Well, as always, we want to take a couple seconds to thank the people who sent in their trophy photos for this week's show. Frank Lynn, Gary Johnson, Krueger Hoffland, and Werner Graf. Congratulations, everybody. Those are some great trophies, and I apologize if I mispronounced your name. You guys certainly aren't making it easy on me. Now, as always, if you want to see your photo in next season of Bowhunt or Die, just log on to bowhunting.com, go into our photo gallery, and submit your trophy. Well, guys, that's all the action we've got for Season 3 of Bowhunt or Die. You know, we really hope that you enjoyed it. We've got a lot of great feedback. You know, this year, we're looking forward to another great year. Season 4 starting here pretty soon. You know, Todd, one thing that we want to talk about is all the different ways that you can watch the show.
Definitely.
You know, obviously, bowhunting.com is the main source to get Bowhunt or Die, but if you own a Roku device, streaming media, you can do it on there. We're also on iTunes. You can download the podcast, as well as YouTube. You know, Todd, between those 4 pieces of media, we actually had over 400,000 views of Bowhunt or Die in Season 3.
Yeah, I mean, I tell you, this has been probably one of the best years we've had, Justin. I mean, we've gotten more comments being emailed into us than ever, and I got to tell you, it's a lot of fun. Sure, it's a lot of hard work, but it's great when you're getting those emails in and people are telling you how much they like the show and how much they're learning from watching the show. And for those who have not invested into a Roku yet, I mean, guys, for $50 to $100, I mean, this is a great device and you can get a lot of great entertainment.
Yeah, I've got one in my bedroom. I use it to stream Netflix all the time when I'm not watching our own TV show. So in any case, guys, that's going to end Season 3. Season 4 is going to be starting up here pretty soon. Probably looks like March, early part of March. We're going to kick off Season 4. It's going to show you a lot of the post-season scouting and wrap-up that we're going to be doing. You know, shed hunting. You know, sheds are falling already. I know Clinton and Mike and some other guys have already found sheds. So we're going to be showing you that. Of course, turkey hunting we got coming up. Maybe Dean Krueger can have another dream season and slay a bunch of turkeys up in Wisconsin. So, you know, as always, we're going to show you the best real-world bow hunting action that we can bring you. So stay tuned in March for Season 4 of Bowhunt or Die.
In the meantime, don't forget to check out facebook.com/bowhunting for daily updates, news, photos, and other exciting information. We want to hear your opinions and your stories. So join us now and like us on Facebook.
Ding, 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 ding. Ding, 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 ding.
Oh, see, he just can never just say, you know what? Help me, Todd. Show me the way.